Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Shoshana, and I want to talk about how your life is always relevant to you. It is always relevant. It's you could look at life like a big game, right? It's a big game. Whatever you input, like a computer, whatever you input, you get the result of. So we're going through life and we are constantly creating our life and our surroundings. And our surroundings are relevant to what we have put in to our life, either in the past or in yesterday or in this morning. And so whatever we input, we get the direct result of. So it's like playing with a big game of cause and effect. So we put in the cause and we receive the effect. Now, there's also an element of co creation here, right? Because we are playing with other players, but we get to choose the other players as well. So we get to choose, and sometimes it may feel like we're stuck in our life, like we don't have choice. Like, how did I get here? I didn't cause this. How do I get out of this? I feel like there's already a lot of momentum going in my life, and I don't know how to make the changes to be able to pull myself out of the current situation that I'm in, or to create the situation that I want. And it's all about shifting, first of all, because once you create something and it catches momentum in the physical world, right? Because creation is first of all set in our mind, and I'm going to get to that because it's all dependent on our mindset and our belief system. Because and the way that we create, if we create intentionally or if we create just by outcome of a chaotic life, chaotic thoughts and chaotic the non-understanding that we are the creators, because then we're going to be creating incoherent or chaotic results. We're going to be receiving results of chaos if we have chaos in our mind, and if we are in ourselves confused or at disarray or misunderstanding. So the key here is to understand, yeah, and I know that you've heard it a million times said over and over and over. You are the creator of your life. You create your outcome. You manifest your life. Whatever results you're getting in your life is because of how you uh, um, is because of yourself and what you believe, right? But a lot of times when people are explaining this concept, there's a gap between the understanding of what you put in your thought is what you receive in the outcome. And so I kind of want to bring a bridge here in between. So whatever actions we are taking, whatever we are putting into the matrix, the physical world, the our lives, our surroundings, we are receiving the direct result of that. So it's a constant cause and effect. It's a constant game. Input, outcome, input, outcome. You don't like the outcome, you have to start checking what was the input that I put in order to receive this outcome. How is it that I keep on receiving the same results, or how do I keep on finding myself in these situations that I don't like to be in, and seemingly I'm not causing this. This is just showing up in my life. And here is where your thoughts and beliefs come into play, because many of our thoughts and beliefs are so far under the surface, and we have been conditioned this way, generational conditioning, right? So we are brought up not even asking the question if this is the right way of being, just being in a way, in a knowing that this is how society works. And we don't even realize that we're doing it. So it's sitting in our subconscious. So part of this spiritual awakening is that we're peeling back that subconscious. We are opening up our subconscious to our conscious mind and realizing what is playing under the surface. What are those core beliefs that I have that are playing under the surface? And whenever we are receiving results that we don't want from life, and it is a telltale sign that we are out of alignment with cause and effect. That means that we are also not sitting in the driver's seat of our own life. That means that we are creating blindly without realizing what we are doing, which means that we are using our words without even understanding what we're saying. We are being uncareful. We are tossing things out without understanding completely what we are doing. And that is because there is like the monkey mind underneath. You could see it as our shadows, the weaknesses of our archetypes. There, you could see it as demons that have overtaken part of our, demons are places that we are not healed. Then we leave open for these misbehaviors that cause chaos in our life, and we don't even know that we're doing it. We don't understand that we're doing it. Have you ever noticed that we keep on hitting up against the same walls, and those walls that we keep on hitting up against, the ones that we dislike, are the ones that we're completely blind to? We don't even realize, why do I keep getting this result? Why do I keep getting this result? And at some point during this healing process, all of a sudden it's like there's this veil lifted from your eyes and you see something about yourself that you didn't say. That's where the pain comes in. It's like, oh my God, you're devastated over your own behaviors and your own blindness. And a lot of times we kick against it because we don't even want to admit it, because admitting it would mean that we would have to admit that we had been wrong almost our entire life. So a lot of times we don't even want to admit it. I'm getting my cup of coffee. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you for coffee. Appreciation. Whenever we can appreciate, the more we can appreciate, the happier our life becomes, because happiness always sits in the cradle of appreciation. If you've noticed, you can't be happy about something without first being an appreciation about it. So the more that you can find in your life to be appreciative for and consciously start bringing it to the surface, the more you will start seeing, you'll start searching out things that you can be appreciative for. And it will enhance your life experience forte. All of a sudden, you're noticing all the things that you have, and then your eye is on the light rather than all of the things that you perceive as not good or that you don't have. So that's a trick that you can do purposefully. Say thank you for coffee, thank you for the opportunity of making these videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for my expression, for being able to have the ability to sit in front of a camera and speak my mind. 10 years ago, I could have never done these videos. So thank you for that. And thank you for all of the talents that I was born with. And thank you for Providence. Even if sometimes I feel in lack, or sometimes I feel like, oh no, what am I going to do? But if I look at the big picture, I'm provided for just by being, and I have gotten to this stage somehow. So thank you for all that is and all that has been. So getting back to the point, just a minute, I have to reconnect. Give me a sec. So if you want to come into the full power of your life, and you want to be able to be a purposeful, intentional creator and sit in the driver's seat of your life, first and foremost, you have to admit that you are responsible for what's coming into your life, even if seemingly it's not, and that you have chosen this path. And once you take responsibility for it, for the good and the bad, for, there is no good and bad, but perceived. And even taking responsibility for the perception of good or bad, or things that you don't want that are showing up in your life, and saying, okay, there's something that I'm doing. It's not his fault, her fault, circumstances' fault, God's fault. I am part of God. I am part of this creation. I'm inseparable. I am as ancient as the earth itself. I have the right to be here, but I also have the responsibility and the opportunity, but there's also a much better word. It's like I was graced with this. It was like a privilege. I have the privilege, but also the responsibility for my own life, and whatever wants to flow through me, to allow it to flow through me. And so once you fully stand up and realize that your life is what you make it, And then it's sometimes it can be very, very scary, because then, wait a minute, what if all these things are showing up and how do I do this? It's all on me. But on the other hand, it's also very, very empowering, because, oh, I have control of my life. Others don't. Others don't get to, when you fully stand in your power, you become so powerful, and you become an intentional creator. And when you take responsibility for your own life, you feel emancipated. You feel like, it can be also scary, because you're also taking responsibility for your life. So you can't say, oh, they didn't let me, he didn't let me, she didn't let me, it's because of circumstances. You have to, actually fully own it. And by fully owning it, it emancipates you. But it also makes you have to take responsibility for all the things that are showing up in your life and any changes that you want to make. And sometimes changes can be hard, especially when you have to admit to yourself your own weaknesses and the places that you have been out of alignment your entire life. It's the ego death, going through ego death, like losing aspects of ourselves, beliefs that have served us our entire life, and then we're letting them go. Not only are we letting them go, and then we feel empty, like, oh no, what do I do from here? I don't have a belief system that is holding me, and I have to create a new belief system, or see things as in a different way. But also, you have to admit that you've been wrong, not only to yourself, but many times you have to admit in relationships. All of a sudden you see glimpses of your past self, and it can be very painful, having to admit all those things. That's why I think that many people try to hold on to past beliefs even when they see that they're not serving them, because by letting go of those beliefs, they will have to take responsibility and to admit that they were wrong the entire time. And sometimes you see yourself in past situations that can be very painful. And so when you realize that this whole life is just a big game, you input, you get back the results. You think about it, you take responsibility, you find what belief, what was at the core of that action. And many times when we find that we're out of alignment, and here is a key, this is a key point. Many times when we find that we are out of alignment, it is because of some kind of insecurity. What is insecurity? The feeling of unworthiness. Why do I feel unworthy? Something that was programmed in me as a child within that abandonment. I'm not going to be accepted for who I am, because I am unworthy of being accepted, of being loved. It typically has to do with something that is a very, very core wound of abandonment. And if I behave in certain ways, I'm not going to be accepted, and the tribe is going to abandon me. My parents, my surroundings, people won't like me. And it sits this core belief that I am not enough as I am, so I have to put on this face. And then we wear these faces that we don't even realize that we're wearing. And when anything gets close enough to that abandonment wound, then we create these behaviors to push whatever it is away, and we don't even realize that we're doing it. So we are behaving in ways in protective mode and defensive mode, which defensive mode can also be offensive mode, right? Because a lot of times when we're defending something, then we become offensive. So don't get close. Now, all of the people that have explosive behaviors, it is from weakness, right? You cannot have those explosive behaviors not from weakness. It is a protective mechanism. So when you know that whatever that out of alignment is the feeling of unworthiness, and then you can start digging right at that. A lot of times you can just bypass the behavior because you don't even know why the behavior was created many times. You have some kind of belief in place that you don't even know why it was created, because it was created before you even have conscious memory. And a lot of times it's a consensus, it's a societal consensus that you don't behave in this manner, or you're always polite and the customer is always right. The customer is not always right. Sometimes the customers are just assholes. I mean, this is something that I've learned, and then you have to work with that. And so a lot of our programming is faulty. And especially if it's societal programming that was built on, a lot of times you'll find laws that were built on something that was relevant hundreds of years ago, societal laws, right? Unspoken laws. That was built on something that was relevant hundreds of years ago, and it's not relevant anymore. And people are still, or it has evolved from its original state to something that is completely unrecognizable, but that still people build their lives around. And so it can be very tricky to do that internal work. That's why the internal work is so, it can be so painful, because you're going so far into the core of your existence, the core of your being. And not only are you going against your own, not against, but perceived against, right? You're going for your own self, but you can feel like you're not only are you digging out these core wounds out of your own self. Many times the things that we find go against everything that we have believed in and everything that everyone else around us has taught us to believe. So not only do we have to stand up for ourselves, we also have the pain of going through the change, and we have to, and that belief is so strong that many times it deters people that are around us. But this is how we fix that cause and effect. This is the game. That's the game. The whole game is align yourself to the all, align yourself to God. When you align yourself to God, first of all, you have all of God's power behind you, cause and effect, the universe, whatever you want to call it. When you get aligned with cause and effect, when you get aligned with nature, not aligned with the natural way of things, you become so much more powerful. Not only do you become powerful, fear falls away, because you have the answers for everything. You know why you do things. You know what the purpose in them is, and you know that they are right because you are aligned. You can see the absolute rightness of it. So you stand powerful, you stand upright. And if somebody comes at you sideways, you're able to reflect back to them all of the reasoning and purpose of what you are doing, or you don't even care. Typically, you get to a point where it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You are on your path, and you know you're divine, and you know what you're doing. And you also understand that many people that have not done the work cannot get it and do not understand. And therefore, there is no purpose in fighting for it. You just have compassion for them. And you have no need or purpose in defending your beliefs, because it doesn't matter what they think anyway, because what they think about it is irrelevant, because they can't see what you see. So it doesn't really even matter in any case, and you don't even feel the need to defend it, because you know exactly who you are and what you are and why you're doing what you're doing. And so when you can look at life as just a big game, and there's an input and outcome, and it's about winning the game. And winning the game means you win yourself. It's not about winning from somebody else. It's about rising into a place of having, first of all, being a powerful player and being able to play intentionally and enjoying life. Because when you come to that state of being, then you become an instant manifester. It's just instant. Oh, I want to go play over here with those people. Okay, let me close all this off that I have momentum going on, and now let me go over there. And it becomes not personal. It becomes not confusing. It becomes very, very clear and intentional, and with fun and power, and your life becomes that much more enriched and that much more enjoyable. And everything that is in your life, you understand why it showed up, or at least you understand that you were responsible for it showing up, and then you can dig at it. And then life just becomes the biggest part of life, and the most important part of life is your spiritual path. And when you're on that path, you see it so clearly. So I am sending you guys so much love. Thank you for being here and watching and listening. And if you would like to meet with me one-on-one to kind of look at your own life and see what you're going through, I would love to. My contact information is in my site below. Thank you so much.